You may all take your seats. Family and friends of the graduates, honored guests, faculty, staff, commencement speakers, graduating seniors, award winners, and PhDs. Welcome to the commencement exercises of the Department of Sociology at the University of California at Berkeley. As the department concludes its 72nd year at this university, we have over 300 graduating seniors. They arrived here at Berkeley via 300 different pathways. They leave with at least one thing in common: a shared sociological vision that enables them to see the world as it really is, and thus empowers them to be effective agents for positive change in the fields to which they will contribute in the future. My name is Sandra Susan Smith, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be the chair of the most fantastic sociology department in the world. Joining me on the stage are the department faculty and our speakers. I will quickly introduce them, but I will ask that despite the fact that we know that you love them, I want you to reserve your applause until the end. So, in the back row on my left, our graduate speaker, Daniela Carrillo, Andrew Barlow, Daniel Snyder, Armando Laudamillan, Laura Enriquez, and Sibel Fox. In the front row on my left, our keynote speaker, Siobhan Waldron, Trond Peterson, Mara Loveman, Dylan Riley, Mary Kelsey, and Lale Bebehanian. In the back row on my right, our undergraduate speaker, Fer Ochoa, Sonia Ivester, Yan Long, John Kaiser, Joanna Reed, and Jill Bakhorn. In the front row on my right, Heather Haveman, Neil Flickstein, Irene Bloomrod, David Harding, Marion Fourcade, Martine Sanchez-Jankowski, and Samuel Lucas. Our department is renowned the world over for the accomplishments of our faculty and students. In recent rankings of both U.S. departments of sociology and departments across the globe, Berkeley was again ranked #1. Our faculty have won some of the most prestigious awards in the country, including membership in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and the National Academy of Arts and Sciences. We also have a former president of the American Sociological Association, who is also the former president of the International Sociological Association. Certainly the books and articles that our faculty write win major awards, but more important than the awards are the questions that they ask and the careful research that they do that often challenge conventional thinking. The department's research and teaching urges attention to the most compelling questions of the day. How are we to understand the causes and consequences of social and economic inequalities? The contemporary politics of immigration and the experiences of immigrants and their children. The rise of the massive US prison system and its disparate consequences for individuals, families, and communities. Changes in the labor market and the shift to more and more precarious types of work. The effects of the new social media on real-world social organization, the housing crisis and gentrification, the transformation of public higher education, or the massive social movements and organized reactions to them sweeping the world. However, it is not only the research and accomplishments of our faculty that have brought renown to the department. It is equally the achievements of our students. Berkeley PhDs consistently win awards for their books and articles and shape the sociology departments of colleges and universities across the nation and indeed the world. And our BAs populate the ranks of innumerable professions, bringing with them the skills and special perspective of Berkeley sociology. That special perspective is profoundly shaped by the fact that Berkeley is a public university, and it is the public university in the state of California. Look around you. I wasn't rhetorical. I want you to look around you. You will see that our graduates and their families reflect much of the magnificent variety of the people of California. The mission of public universities is simple. It is to educate the qualified children of all the people of the state, to bring the high-achieving sons and daughters of janitors, nurses' aides, and dishwashers into classrooms with the sons and daughters of doctors, lawyers, and community organizers. It is to make higher education accessible to students who are parents, who are differently abled, who lack certain documents through no fault of their own, who decide to return to school later in life, who may have been formerly incarcerated. The public mission of UC Berkeley profoundly enriches our students, what our students bring to the classroom, and what they learn in the course of their university education. As we acknowledge and appreciate what the graduates sitting before you have accomplished to arrive to this day, and to anticipate with excitement all the wonderful things that they will contribute to society in the years ahead, I truly hope that we can pledge to fight to maintain accessible and excellent public higher education for generations who will follow. In these times more than ever, we must work together to ensure that the state and the University of California keep its promise to its people. So, we begin the program with the undergraduate address. Our speaker today is Fer Ochoa. Please join me in welcoming Fer to the podium.
All right, I'm a little nervous, y'all, so, be a little patient. All right, so good morning, family, friends, faculty, and fellow graduates. My name is Fernanda Ochoa, or Fer to most. I am a transfer student from North Hollywood, California. I feel honored to speak today because not many people on this campus look like me or sound like I do. I came to Berkeley feeling afraid of what might happen to me in the next 2 years. I felt the imposter syndrome the minute I came to campus and could not find my class. I felt the imposter syndrome when I did not understand what Marx was talking about. I felt the imposter syndrome when I suddenly forgot how to begin an essay. It was difficult to believe in myself when my imposter syndrome insisted that I should not. It became impossible to unclench my jaw and rest my shoulders. Today I'm here to tell you that I stuffed my imposter syndrome in a box and have found the voice that helped me keep motivation to continue. I was able to do so by asking for help. This is not a one-shot process. It has taken me years to allow myself to feel and to grow without apology. This has not been easy for me. I have remained a full-time student with a labor-intensive part-time job that took my time on the weekends. I also led my own research team this semester. I did everything to believe in myself. Leading my research team required passion and the ability to ask for help. Pushing my pride to the side to ask for help was something I learned through trial and error. It was not in my vocabulary to ask for extensions. The stigma surrounding accommodations made me cancel my appointments and suffer in silence for very long. I knew I had generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder, but wanted no one to know about this. I did not want anyone to know that it was difficult for me to sleep for longer than 4 hours or that I could not verbalize my needs properly. It was especially difficult to stop romanticizing my relationship with mental illnesses. I thought it was anxiety that pushed me to do better in my schoolwork. I thought without my mental illnesses, I would not know how to write good essays on a whim. I am proud of myself for occupying the spaces that I have. I cannot say that I was always comfortable or consistently thriving, but I cannot allow myself to be small any longer. I am also not going to lie to you. Being honest and kind to yourself is a tough task. When I got my first B+ the first semester at Cal, I wondered why I'd bothered coming to an institution that was not created with me in mind. As I continued, it was more and more apparent that marginalized communities are overwhelmingly studied and observed, but are underrepresented in research cohorts. I grew tired of not reading names like my own on research papers with people like me in them. I grew interested in conducting my own research, and with the help of Professor David Harding, we created the NAVCal Research Cohort. Our research cohort consists of system-impacted and formerly incarcerated people doing work on our own community. Being able to create my own research cohort helped me believe in my abilities as a leader and as a researcher. I can no longer doubt my abilities, and no one can either. My work speaks for itself. I'm here to tell you that you're not alone and that you're not an imposter. That goes especially for students of color that have no legacy in these institutions beyond the ones they are currently creating. It took me a year and a half at this institution to really start believing in myself. It is difficult to admit that I believed in others more than I did myself. But I'm here. I believe in myself. There's no way that I can't any longer. Your ideas are valid, they're real, and we need to write about our experiences ourselves. Our experiences are indispensable to how we should see and study sociology today and in the future. I urge you to be kind to yourself and to take action on the things that you value the most. Don't forget where you come from and the circumstances that pushed you to come here. Touch the places you love the most before the places you're convinced you're supposed to. I would like to thank my parents, Maria Elena and Rigoberto, who have always prioritized my mental health over my success in higher education. They have continuously reminded me that I must be kind and patient to myself. It is rare in my culture to have parents that are always behind our decisions and choices, especially those backed in mental health. The encouragement given to me by them is something I will always carry for me and the work that I do. They should be up here just as much as I should be. I would like to thank my closest peers that reminded me that competition is always a losing battle unless the person you are competing with is yourself. Finally, I would like to thank my professors who were supportive of my endeavors as an undergrad and as a future graduate student. It is vital for professors to encourage future academics into creating classrooms that place importance on our experiences and not their own. I cannot tell you that imposter syndrome will end here, because it won't. But do not isolate yourself. It is easy to do so, and it helps us feel like we are doing a service to others. Learn to be of service to yourself. Do remember that you matter beyond the confines of academic spaces. I see you and I hear you. I will leave you with a saying in Spanish that has helped me immensely. Sano, sana, sanamos. I heal, you will heal, we will heal together. Thank you.
People think that the job of being a chair of a department is hard, but when you know that you have students like Fer that you're working with and for, it makes it all worth it. Thank you for such a powerful speech. So now I'd like to give the stage to our graduate student speaker, that is Daniela Carrillo.
Good morning, everyone, y buenos días a todos. Can everyone hear me? My full name is Daniela Cristina Carrillo Renteria, and I'm a recent graduate of Berkeley Sociology PhD program. I'm honored to stand before you today to deliver a short but hopefully inspiring speech about what this day represents. The end of a long and I imagine challenging educational journey. I came into this program back in 2011, and when I did, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought I was going to be nurtured and flourish in this new intellectual environment. I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed that I actually thought this was going to be fun. But that feeling quickly went away when, after my first day in pro seminar, a faculty member told us that it was either publish or perish. Our goal in graduate school was to publish in a top academic journal, or we were not going to get that tenure-track job. We also needed to choose a dissertation topic early, create a 5-year plan, and stick to it. And if we wanted to get through the program on time, we would have to get external funding through fellowships so that we wouldn't get bogged down by research assistantships and teaching. Then I go to my first class, and my classmates are using words that I had never heard of. Epistemologically, ontologically, modus operandi. I came home that night, and I looked up all of those words, and I still didn't understand what my peers were trying to communicate to me. I felt so out of place and confused because I knew the admissions committee had made a mistake. I clearly did not belong here. I pushed through my courses the best I could that year, but I was miserable in that process. At the end of that first year, I was ready to drop out. But just when I was getting ready to file the paperwork for this, I received the news that I had been granted 2 external fellowships, the Ford and the NSF. I didn't think that I was deserving of either of them at this point, but I thought maybe, just maybe, there's something that other people are seeing in me that I'm not. Maybe I might just have what it takes. I decided to stick with the program 1 more year, and as you know, I made it through and received my doctorate. The road there was not easy, and I had a lot of ups and downs along the way, but because I only have 5 minutes for this speech, I'm going to spare you the details. The point is that as a first-generation college student and Latinx woman, I felt the imposter syndrome so intensely that I almost let it get the best of me. And to be honest, it comes back and taunts me all the time, especially in the moments where I'm pushing myself the most and testing my limits. And I imagine that many of you sitting in this auditorium have felt the same way too. And I'm here to tell you that you are not a fraud. I'm here to remind you that the reason that you are made to feel this way is because we live in a society where our voices and our experiences continually try to be silenced. I'm here to tell you that you should be proud to graduate from the University of California, Berkeley, not because it's a top public university, but because you persevered in an institution that was not built to lift us up. So the next time that you feel that dread, that anxiety, that fear building up inside of you, remember, you have and you will overcome that adversity. Know that you will always deserve a seat at that table, whether other people like it or not. So I congratulate you for pushing forward despite all the microaggressions, despite all the times when you were made to feel small and dumb and like you weren't worth it and like you didn't belong. Because you have your degree now, and you have so much to offer. So with that, I say congratulations, graduating class of 2019. Sí se pudo. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle, for sharing your vulnerability and what it took to get to where you are today. We really appreciate it. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker, Siobhan Waldron. Siobhan received her Juris Doctor degree from the University of California, Los Angeles, where she specialized in the David J. Epstein Program in Public Interest Law and Policy and Critical Race Studies Program. She received a bachelor's degree from the University of California, Berkeley, in Legal Studies in Spanish with a concentration in Hispanic languages and bilingual issues. Siobhan is a national immigration law expert and managing attorney of Centro Legal de la Raza's Detention Project, which provides representation to individuals in immigration detention who are facing deportation. Prior to joining Centro's immigration team, Siobhan worked at the Immigration Center for Women and Children of Los Angeles, where she primarily served as appointed counsel under Franco-Gonzalez versus Holder. We are honored that Siobhan is here to deliver the Berkeley Sociology Commencement Address. Welcome, Siobhan.
Good morning, and congratulations to everyone here today. My name is Siobhan Waldron, and I am a managing attorney at Centro Legal de la Raza in Oakland. These past few years must have been an absolutely fascinating time to study societal relationships and institutions. The fact that you chose to pursue undergraduate and graduate degrees in sociology means that you care about society and how it's functioning. As mentioned, I am a proud Bear. I graduated from Cal in 2006 with degrees in Spanish and legal studies. Through the Spanish department listserv at UC Berkeley, I was connected to a volunteer opportunity tutoring the children of Salvadoran immigrants in Oakland. I got involved with a local grassroots nonprofit organization, and I began visiting El Salvador about once or twice a year for about 6 years. Through listening to communities talk about their struggles and the changes they wanted to see in their own community, I became very intimately aware of the structures and absolute government neglect and sometimes outright hostility that causes people to leave their beloved home countries. That, combined with my personal experience, really sparked an interest in immigration law for me. I grew up in Mountain View, California, and really, guys, Mountain View was way different in the 80s and 90s. Mountain View, pre-Google, looked very different and had a very different feel. I personally grew up in an immigrant neighborhood. Most people around me and their families did not speak English. It was a predominantly Spanish-speaking neighborhood, but in the apartment complexes I grew up in, people were from Azerbaijan, people were from Kuwait, people were from Zimbabwe, people were really from all over the world. So just thinking through the place where I grew up, my friends, my families, and visiting places that have traditionally been large sources of immigration to the United States, I really found myself interested in immigration law. So I went to law school, and I focused my studies and all of my extracurricular activities on becoming a direct services immigration attorney at a nonprofit organization in California. It was very important for me to stay in California and return to California and serve immigrant communities. So today, as an immigration attorney, I co-manage the immigration program's deportation defense project at Centro Legal for individuals in ICE detention. Our project's goal is to provide high-quality removal defense to as many people in ICE custody as possible. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what removal defense is, it is just deportation defense. Unfortunately, in the 90s, there was wide-scale immigration reform that changed the word from deportation to removal. It also introduced new and exceedingly harsh penalties for people who entered and exited the United States without valid immigration status and who remained in the United States without immigration status. So since the reform, the proper legal term is removal, not deportation. Basically, removal is a euphemism for deportation. Honestly, when I'm in the courtroom, I do use the word removal. That is the proper legal term. But more and more, now more than ever, I hate using the word removal. I fiercely reject language that is used to sanitize and attempts to legitimize our immigration system. Our immigration system is broken, and it has always been broken. Our immigration system is not and has never been about ensuring orderly and fair immigration. It never has been. Instead, from its outset, it has been fiercely racist, explicitly racist, and sought to exclude bad immigrants and welcome good immigrants. I do not subscribe to narratives about good immigrants, bad immigrants, deserving immigrants, not deserving immigrants. I don't agree that people who have been in the United States and who may have no criminal record are any more deserving than any other person or group to have a path to immigration status. Instead, I think we're all deserving of immigration status. We are all members of our communities. We are all members of this society. So I don't think that just good students should get immigration status, nor people who have been in the US for a long time, nor people with family connections here, and certainly not only people who have been fortunate enough to avoid our criminal justice system. We should not be defined by our mistakes, and our immigration status and ability to be members of community should not be based on our interactions with the deeply biased and outright racist criminal justice system. And because of my rejection of these paradigms of deserving and good and bad and undeserving immigrants, I have chosen to specialize in detained deportation defense. In other words, I represent people who are in ICE custody in their individual court proceedings. And what that means currently, what the profile of my clients looks like, is that the vast majority of my clients have come straight into ICE custody, either from prison, state or federal, or county jails. Sometimes people are picked up in their communities after release from the institutions, but normally it's just a straight transfer from a jail to ICE custody. And what that means is our immigration enforcement system, who our government chooses to aggressively exclude and deport, it has piggybacked on our criminal justice system. And I don't think it's lost upon this room how extremely problematic that is. So I fight every day. I fight for judges and prosecutors to see past a person's rap sheet and to see past what a person's life might look like in a paper file. Instead, I push judges and prosecutors to see an individual as a member of a community, their community, our society. And it's not only judges and prosecutors that have that vision and seek to define people by their criminal records. Clearly, it's lawmakers, it's society at large, and it has to change. So given the current political climate and the absolute misinformation and hate that permeates our current discourse, law, and policy, we must change and reject problematic hierarchies, problematic structures of power and practices. In fact, it's time to stop calling it removal, it's deportation. It's time to stop referring to people being in ICE custody. I find myself doing it all the time because ICE custody is civil detention. It is not criminal incarceration. Technically, legally, as a lawyer, I tend to be pretty careful with my words. But again, now we can't keep using these euphemisms and these language changes to try and sanitize what is happening. People in ICE custody are incarcerated, and we need to start calling it that. So now, graduates, it's time to have honest conversations with yourself and your communities about the changes that you want to see. Identify what you want to change and do it. I choose to fight deportation and incarceration every single day. But to figure out the impact that you want to make and how you can best bring that change about, work with your communities. Talk to people. Be honest with yourself and find your strengths. Use your strengths to empower people, empower yourself, empower those around you, empower your community. And you will bring about change. There are myriad ways to bring about change. For example, as I mentioned, I fight deportation in the courtroom. I have worked at direct services legal organizations because I know that when I'm working directly with clients and when I'm in the courtroom presenting oral and written advocacy, I thrive. That's where I feel happy, I feel excited, and I can see that I bring about real change. On a case-by-case basis, I can bring out change not only for that person, but for the community around them, and slowly it causes a ripple effect. I'm very comfortable in an adversarial court setting, and I take pride in holding ICE to their burdens. And if nothing else, disrupting ICE's massive deportation machine. But not everyone feels comfortable in an adversarial court setting. And that's why there are people who bring about change in all different types of ways. So think about how you want to do it. You need to figure out your strengths and how you can best bring about change. And I know that sounds vague, right? How do you find your strengths? How do you bring about change? You need to approach everything with an open mind and don't purport to already know the answer and solution to things. You need to work with your community, and it takes trial and error, as mentioned today. So for example, it was mentioned earlier that I serve as appointed counsel under a lawsuit that's called Franco-Gonzalez. That is a lawsuit that was groundbreaking. It provides appointed counsel that the government pays for in immigration proceedings for people who are incarcerated by ICE and have been found unable to represent themselves due to serious and persistent mental health issues. And since 2014, I've been serving in that role as appointed counsel. When the opportunity was first presented to me to do that type of work, I jumped at it. I was so excited. But there was nothing about me personally that told me that I would thrive in that environment. I hadn't had personal, intense, or frequent contact with individuals with severe and acute mental health issues. I represent people who are incarcerated by ICE, which is in and of itself an extremely traumatic situation, which often triggers any and all trauma and mental health issues that a person might have. My clients suffer from mental illness. They've been diagnosed with things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, and I also represent people with cognitive, intellectual disabilities. So I've represented clients who suffer from dementia, who have had traumatic brain injuries, and intellectual disorders. It is by far the absolutely most rewarding and challenging part of my work, and I can't imagine ever being an immigration attorney and not pushing forward for the rights of people with mental health issues in our immigration system, and hopefully one day on a broader level. So put yourself out there, take risks. You will figure out where you shine and what your strengths are. And when you're out there thriving, change will come. So don't rush to figure out what your next step is and what you're going to do with your overall career. I didn't graduate from Cal as an undergrad knowing I'm going to be an attorney. Instead, I knew what my interests were, and I applied for jobs, and some were a great fit, and others I said, I don't think this is it for me. So put yourself out there, try different experiences, and you'll see what really inspires you and what you're passionate about. Do you want to be a researcher? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a lawyer? You can do it all. So take your time, get diverse experiences, so you can better understand yourself, society, and how you can best bring about change. There are no perfect advocates, and honestly, we are the best advocates when we know what we don't know. I would have to say probably one of the key parts of my job is knowing when I don't know the answer and what I need to research further. So learn your strengths and capitalize on them, excuse me. Take pride in everything that you do. What you do in life next is much more than a paycheck. If you find yourself at a job or at a volunteer experience just going through the motions, then ultimately that's not going to be the right fit for you to bring about the change you likely want to see in the world. So take your time, figure out how you shine, and go to work, do everything that you do with pride, and I promise change will follow. Best of luck, class of 2019, and thank you for letting me speak today.
We get asked, dozens of times a day, I would say, what do you do with a sociology degree? And I think we tend to, and some of you probably still have that question, and I think we tend to respond by saying we give you concepts and theories and analytical and methodological tools that you can use to go and change the world. I want to thank Siobhan for coming here today and giving us a powerful and inspiring vision of what changing the world looks like day to day. And that it's not easy, but it is, I imagine, incredibly fulfilling and worth all effort. So every one of our graduates here has accomplished a great deal, but we set aside this time to acknowledge some of our special achievements, or their special achievements. I'd like to call our prize winners to the front of the stage right now. I'm going to point over here, because that's what it told me to do, point to the left, so that we may present the awards. And I'm going to invite Professor Dylan Riley to the stage so that he can call out the prize winners.
Good morning to everyone. Each year, the department honors an outstanding graduating senior for overall accomplishment in sociology. This is the highest award that we give to an undergraduate student. The committee looks especially at the paper or the thesis submitted by qualified students, but it also looks at general scholarship and demonstrated excellence throughout the student's entire career at Berkeley. So this is a really extraordinary award. This year's winner is Cheyenne Seneca. Cheyenne's thesis title is Decolonizing Our Minds and Actions, Peacemaking Within and Across the Urban and Reserve Divide. Cheyenne, please come forward to receive your award. I'd also like to recognize Daniel Mercado, who received honorable mention for his exceptional thesis entitled Racializing the Restaurant Floor, the Mechanisms and Dynamics of Consumer Racial Profiling. Daniel, please come forward to receive your award. Teaching at Berkeley is a partnership between professors and graduate student instructors, or GSIs for short. In the interest of maybe of breaking beyond euphemisms, it would be better to say that it's more like a 70-30 split. A common arrangement is for professors to lecture twice a week and the GSIs or the teaching assistants to meet with students an equal number of times in smaller classes to discuss course materials. GSIs also work with students to plan research papers, to prepare for exams, and more. Berkeley has many of the finest GSIs in higher education, and I would say that on the campus, sociology has among the finest GSIs out of that already select group. And I know that each one of the graduating seniors will remember one or more outstanding GSIs from their years at Berkeley. Each year, the department and the university recognize a few of the very best ones, so now we're talking about a sort of triply select group, with the Outstanding GSI Award. This year, we're honoring 5 students whose names appear in the program. We're very happy that 2 of our awardees are here today, and I would like them to come forward as I read their names. First, Tyler Leeds. And next, Allison Logan. Each year, we also give prizes for academic work by graduate students in our department and honor the winners at graduation. In addition to the prestige of recognition, these prizes include a modest stipend. The first prize is the Herbert Blumer Prize. This prize is given annually in memory of the founder of our department, Herbert Blumer. It is given to the best paper written in a field of Professor Blumer's interests, which include race, collective behavior, and symbolic interactionism. This year's winner is Elizabeth McKenna for a paper entitled From Mobilization to Organization, The Dynamics of Protest in the Digital Age. Elizabeth's paper is a major contribution to our understanding of both contemporary social movements and present-day Brazil, and it takes up a hotly debated question. Does social media enable, or rather enfeeble, collective action? Elizabeth, please come forward to receive your award. Thank you. Sociology graduate students at Berkeley have long been renowned for using their research skills and intellectual energy to address public concerns beyond the confines of academe. The department has a special prize to recognize these efforts, the Berkeley Alumni Prize for Public Sociology. The selection committee received an excellent set of submissions and chose to give the award to Mary Shai for her research contributing to the fight for housing justice in the Bay Area. Will Mary please come forward to receive the prize? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Riley. We now come to the heart and soul of today's event, the awarding of degrees. We start today with the PhD, our highest degree. Today, we will honor 8 scholars who have earned our highest degree, the doctorate in philosophy. For each of our PhDs, the road to the doctorate has been an impressive journey. Each has completed several years of graduate coursework, researched and written a master's thesis, taken oral examinations, and ultimately embarked on a major original research project. The project was then carried out, analyzed in a dissertation that can run anywhere from 200 to 500 or more pages. The title of each graduate's PhD dissertation is published in the program. The PhD is symbolized by the colored hood of the Doctor of Philosophy. You'll notice that all of the faculty members have such a hood. The colors on the hood signify the degree and university from which we graduated. Today, each newly minted PhD will receive the blue and gold hood of UC Berkeley from his or her own dissertation committee chair or another faculty member. We now begin the conferral of the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Will PhD and MA candidates please stand and line up on the right aisle, up the right aisle. Professor Haverman will hand out scrolls. Alex Vosick Barnard will be hooded by His advisor, Mariam Farkad. Esther Yuna Chu will be hooded by her chair, dissertation chair, Irene Bloomrod. Benjamin Hidru Gebre Medine will be hooded by his dissertation chair, Neil Flickstein. Kyun-Bak Lee will be hooded today by his dissertation chair, David Harding. Elizabeth McKenna will be hooded today by her dissertation chair, Mara Loveman. Alexander Rokasi will be hooded today by his dissertation chair, Neil Flickstein. Alyssa Herman Zatrowski will be hooded today by her dissertation chair, Martine Sanchez Jankowski. And Rachel Wetz will be hooded today by her dissertation chair, Heather Haveman. We also confer the master's degrees. Today, we recognize 8 recipients of the degree of Master of Arts, as you can see in the program. MA grads, please come forward when I call your name. The first is Tyler Leeds. Jacqueline Lepe. Allison Logan. Antonia Mardones Marshall. Garrett Strain. Thomas Vintru. Skylar Wang. And Mia Zhang. Let's have a final round of applause for our MA recipients. And now it's the turn of the undergraduates. I call upon my colleagues to assist in reading the names and distributing the scrolls. Professors Laura Enriquez and Sibel Fox will read the names of the graduating seniors. Professor Sonia Ivester and Yan Long will hand out the commencement scrolls. Dr. Mary Kelsey and Lale Bebehanian will be giving out the gold cords to the honor students. We will be using the aisles for part of the ceremony. Will the first row of candidates please stand and line up in the aisle to your right? Everyone else, please remain seated as it is important to keep the aisles clear.
We will begin the conferral of the Bachelor of Arts degree. Thank you for the first row candidates for coming up to give me your cards. Thank you. Michael Thomas Olivieri. Austin Parker Aaron. Don Schultz Allen. Yui Koda. Ozzy Valencia. Un Wol Lee. Yesenia Duarte Iniguez. Michelle J. Lafort. Megan Yin Lee Stahl. Laurel Bard. Amihan Zapanta Arroyo. Emily Strange. Grace Unjun Lee. Patricia Ochoa. Mia Ashley Camden. Ji Yoon. Ji Yoon Chang. Yu Zi Song. Evelyn Kondo Cohen. Cheyenne Dia Yang. Irma Adeline Perez. Aaron Lee. Mai Hung. Cassidy Lane Mershon. Lauren Alpuerto. Trinity Noel Morton. Skylar Black Ross. Mylene B. Macalino. Chris Chung. Rafael Ramirez. Jyoti Swami. Hiba Khan. Lydia Garcia. Anne Elizabeth McGuire. Brianna Jewel Marie de Silveira. Venus Mack. Georgina Torres. Ángel Javier Ramírez. Mercedes Dominique Cunningham. Courtney Shaw. Zoe Conley. Peyton Logan. Anisha Dangoria. Marley Jean Morgan. Brittany Eliana Reed. Karen Marie Hoskin. Fer Ochoa. Emily Rose Youngs. Kokomo Smith. Mackenzie Ryan, Alabama, Cornwall. Sabrina Ann. Alexis Hornsby. Saida Marie Morish. Mirna Abu Kali. Jamie Yudiko Morishima. Noor Subair Siddiqui. Mina Abu Bakar Sharif. Yi Maria Ho. Si Wei Liu. Ang Mei. Xian Hu. Yigon Wang. Jinwan Song. Isabel Christine Bickford. Christy Hall. Alexandria Marie O'Neill. Catherine Park. Tiffany Win. Eric Lau. Elizabeth Victoria Rubio. Brady Bear. Isaac Camarena. James T. Nishimura. Asia Janelle Cruz. Lara, Ganji, and Gavin. Amber Espinosa and Fabio. Jenny Quach. Martha Medina. Michelle Newen. Melanie Carlos Martin. Victoria Ashley Cabrera Alvarez. Victoria Savannah Marsh. Christy Van Dang. Angela Zhang. Rebecca Emma Santana. Elizabeth Shu. Brittany Kalusich. Cynthia Mesa. Mauricio Alessandro Zúñiga González. Jennifer Joanne Chumbe. Trisha Lily Thenbopu. Lisbeth Zarate. Jacqueline Ismari Rodriguez. Jessica J. Flores. Asia Monet Cooley. Christopher Qualls Parker. Kenneth Lim. Ángela Mona Bocanegro.
Lisa Sim. Jennifer Yvette Morfin. Yesenia Araiza. Ho Quan Marvin Wong. Monica Karina Perez. Brendan Allen Gibson. Carlos Salvador Gomez Ortiz. Trevor Greenan. Eunice Lee. Stephen Joseph Irwin. Grayson G. Baby Bankhead. Marlashawn Franklin Jr. Ari V. Albergue. Aubrey Burr. Ian Dwyer. Kevin Wenquang Guang. Jennifer Shin. Sopani Polke. Lauren Avery Reed. Jalen Doss. Ellis James Newton. Silvio Bocancia. Hiroaki Endu. Shuichiro Hidaki. Larkin Stacy Jean Bond. Sofia Elisa Caro. Zachary Shane Raymond. Jasmine Valenzuela. Hannah Della Croce. James Hua Chen. Miles Brown. Arabi Hassan. Suman Rose. Tatiana Kasenchi. Ariana Monroe. Chase Elizabeth Hollander. Lydia Lamb. Kenneth Claire Chung. Yunyi Liu. Mandy Quinion Mo. Esther Park. Joyce Lee. Yuri Kim. Michael J. Lee. Jamie Janez. Jessica Montellano. Sarah Elizabeth Bianchi. Tara Coughlin. Brianna C. Watson. Susan Isamar Cifuentes. Jimmy Zhao. Shaywin Elaine Young. Julia Marie Mess. Carol Denise Prieto Carrillo. Linda Gao. Samantha Highland. Cecilia Feng Shi Nguyen. Teresa Nguyen. Rio Tess Musni. Ryan Makoto Fong. Mayun Su, Mike, Park, and Lyle. Marina, Lucian Edwards, and Ashton Smith. Y. Kim Tang. Jessica Landeros. Zaina Lucia Altai. Homie, Juan Carlos Flores Jr. and Ruby. Sophia, Esmeralda, Dana, and Liam. Mariah Lynn Casiano Fiel. Mohammed Rafe Ahmad. Aditi Seth. Brianna Malazzo. Florence Love Ye. Christopher Patrick Lombardi. Laura Camila Duarte. Iridian Martinez. This year we are conferring degrees on 21 honors students. These students participated in a year-long honors course in which they conducted their own research projects and wrote up their findings in an honors thesis. Their instructors tell us these projects were fascinating and of high quality. Some have been encouraged to pursue publication of their work. Their thesis titles are listed in the graduation program. I would like to invite honors instructors, Professors Mary Kelsey and Lale Bebehanian, to join me to award each honor student a gold honor cord for their accomplishments. Guta Regasa Earth. Sinporian Fong. Raven Elizabeth Devereaux and Dominic. Claudia Jeanette Trust. Sierra Dawn Timmons. Cheyenne Seneca. Bernadette Blashill. Bailey Dawn Meyer. Haley Nicole Willis. Annabelle Charlotte Fay. Michael Madrid Rivera. Teresa Eve Kaba. Andrea Carreon Ramirez. Paige Marie McDonough. Maria Jose Corona Rojas. Kevin Perdomo. Nicholas Noel Garcia. Bella Podolsky. Grace Vu. Giovanni Francesco D'Ambrosio. Daniel Adam Mercado.
We're just going to wait a moment because we want Daniel to be able to participate in the next phase of this process. Now for an age-old symbol of passage. When tasseled caps were standard academic apparel, undergraduates wore their tassels on the right. Graduates wore them on the left. Bachelor's graduates, please put on your caps with the tassels on your right. Okay. Now, leaving your tassels on the right, stand and face your families, friends, and honored guests. Now, switch your tassel from right to left now. I present you with the fantastic class of 2019. Okay, there's one more thing to do. Now I'm going to turn the ceremony over to the magnificent Lale Bebehanian. one of our beloved professors to bring this momentous occasion to a close.
Yes. All right, so thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Siobhan Waldron, Daniel Carrillo, and Fer Ochoa, all our speakers today. So, y'all, let me begin by expressing what an honor it is for me to be standing here in front of you to conclude this momentous occasion. The great Professor Michael Burrovoy, who can't be with us today, has given these closing remarks for the last 40 years. So it's an enormous honor to try and fill his shoes today. But it's an even greater honor because not that many years ago, I walked down this stage as a graduate of this amazing department. Yes. And I came to UC Berkeley almost 2 decades ago now to begin working on my PhD here. And as you see, I never left. And the reason I never left is that I fell deeply and madly in love with our students here. And let me be clear, when I speak of our students, I'm not speaking just generally of UC Berkeley students, but I'm speaking specifically of you all, the students who are drawn into our sociology department. You are absolutely extraordinary. And you know, the only way that I can describe what it is that distinguishes you all from all the other students on this campus, and that is that there is this fire that burns inside of you all. This fire that you turn into this passion for understanding the world and this unrelenting determination to make the world a better place. This is what makes you so extraordinary. So today, all of us are gathered here to celebrate you and to send you off into the world. And for all of us in this room, for all of your family and friends, for all the faculty and staff, you represent all that we work and strive for every day, and everything that gives us hope for the future. So I want to conclude these ceremonies by taking a minute to just acknowledge all of those who have invested their labor and their love into you. The amazing faculty of this department who pass on their passion for knowledge, and of course, the brilliant graduate student instructors who play just a vital role in the academic mission of this university. We all, with you, the students, we all come together and we transform our classrooms into magical spaces where we dissect all the problems of the world and seek out possibilities for a different, more just, more humane future. But we must never take for granted that these magical spaces that we inhabit together, they exist inside a massive institutional bureaucracy. And their existence is only made possible by the work of our amazing staff who help us navigate and maneuver that bureaucracy every day. This includes our undergraduate advisors, Christina Rojas and Sang Saley. Christina and Sang deal with every crisis, concern, and challenge that arises for our students, personally watching over each and every one of them through their years here at Cal. And Catherine Norton and Amy Asick, who do the same for our graduate students. That's right. Ensuring that they make it through that long, arduous journey. And Carmen Privat-Gilman, who gets them through the process of actually getting jobs. And of course, our Director of Student Services, Carolyn Clark, a woman who knows how to tame a bureaucracy like no one else. And always right next to her is the great magician, Rebecca Chavez, whose task of Rebecca's task of organizing curriculum and scheduling classes in the chaos of a university with hundreds of classrooms and thousands of courses would make anyone else's brain explode. And Aaron Dubois, who maintains our computers, which is also an enormous task when dealing with a bunch of academics who, as my own students can attest to, are not always that tech savvy. Holly Lee keeps our finances in order. John O'Donnell runs our chairs department. And Tamar Young does just about a little of everything while always keeping our department full of laughter. And of course, our Director of Administration, Michael Schneider, who somehow always manages to turn chaos into calm. And finally, we cannot forget the amazing work of Christy Bedolla and her team, Jenny Cornett Carrillo, Rachel Marquez, and Bridget Lehrer, who run our international program. They bring a rich diversity of students from all over the world into our classrooms and ensure that the knowledge that we share together here at UC Berkeley gets projected back with them all across the globe. All of us, all of the folks that I have just named, we get up every day and we give our best, and we do so because we believe in you. And we believe that there is no greater mission than helping to prepare you to go out into the world and not only succeed in it, but succeed in changing it. And finally, and most crucially, there is no one who has invested more in you than your family and friends who have traveled to be here today. That's right. That means all of the parents, all of the grandparents, the aunties, the siblings, all of those who are here with us, and many others who can't be with us. So all of you graduates, you stand here today, graduating from one of the top universities in the world because of their hard work, because of their struggle, because of their determination to give you this education. And this is especially the case for all of you first-gen students. And so that means all of those of you who have fulfilled that enormous achievement of being the first in your families to graduate from college. So can all of the first-generation students please stand up and be recognized for this enormous achievement? So let me now finally bring this ceremony to a close by speaking to all of you graduates on behalf of all of us who have gathered here to honor you. We are so deeply proud of you. We are so proud of the education that you have attained. Now take that education out into the world and change it for the better. Class of 2019, congratulations. So, on that note, we now end this formal ceremony, but we'd like to invite everyone to please join us for a reception with light refreshments out in Zellerbach Plaza. And the faculty will now recess row by row through the 2 middle aisles. The graduates will follow after the faculty. Audience members, please remain seated until all of the graduates have left the auditorium.